How I started from zero to multi-million property business. Did you know that not that long ago, Noelle used to live in her parents' basement? She was broke, bankrupt, with terrible credit. Yes, it's true. I was a zero and now I am not. I'm going to share with you exactly how I did it and how you can do it too. Let's go.
Noelle. Yeah, she can fix that. If you gotta get it done, or you need to do it better, well, she can fix that. Yeah, she can fix that. Investment to get back, trying to get a big stack. She can fix that. Let's fix that.
I'm going to share with you my true story and give you a step-by-step tutorial on how you can go from zero to multi-million dollar property business too. I'm going to share with you the biggest lesson that I learned along the way so that you don't have to make the same mistakes that I did. And I'm going to share with you my #1 secret on how you can do it even faster than I did. Today, I am a multi-millionaire. I make more than $1 million per year. I have more than $1 million in property, and I have more than $1 million liquid. It is a crazy situation. I literally set out to be a millionaire, but I had no idea how I was going to do it. It's definitely taken me some time. I'm not going to say this was an overnight thing, but I'm going to share with you exactly how I did it. How I took myself from bad credit, no money, multiple foreclosures, and just a complete disaster in real estate to a multi-million dollar property owner today. It is amazing how you can do this, and I'm going to share with you the exact steps that I followed so that you can do it too, because there are so many lies out there that I need to debunk. So let me tell you how I ended up in my parents' basement. I started investing in Atlanta in 2002, 2003. I was in my early 20s and I was flipping houses with a full-time job. Yes, that was my first experience investing in real estate. I was watching those TV shows and there were people at my job. I worked at a mortgage company that were flipping houses while they had a job. So I started doing the exact same thing too. They told me all I had to do was show people my pay stubs and I can get a hard money loan in order to start flipping houses. So that's exactly what I did. But I was flipping maybe just a couple of houses per year, and I was just going along in 2003, 2004, and I was just flipping some houses and making some extra side money. Well, along came 2008, 2009, and the market completely crashed. Both my husband and I, we lost our jobs, and everything just fell apart. I had overpaid for properties, I was in the middle of flips, and I had no idea what I was doing. I was not a real estate investor. I was just flipping houses, and that was my biggest mistake. So I ended up moving back into my parents' basement because I really just had no idea what to do. But while I was in my parents' basement licking my wounds, I decided I was really going to learn real estate investing, and that's when my life changed. Let me tell you that part. So when I was in my parents' basement, I started going to Real Estate Investor Association meetings, RIA meetings as they call them. They're completely free, and they would be held at local places around Hartford. So I was in Hartford, Bloomfield, Connecticut at the time, and I just started going to little meetings and starting to learn about real estate. I ended up getting a coach that taught me how to invest in real estate the right way with no money and without using my credit. He taught me a concept called wholesaling, where I would find people that were behind on their mortgage payments or anyone with a property problem. But in this example, I was going after people that were in foreclosure or pre-foreclosures. I was marketing to them, putting out signs, sending letters, hey, are you behind on your payments? Question mark, call this number. And people just started calling me like crazy. Well, what I did was then flip those contracts over to the people in the Real Estate Investor Association meeting, and I started making $5,000 per deal. I started doing that and eventually got my sorry butt out of my parents' basement. But that's not where it ended for me because I didn't necessarily have the confidence to do it full time, and this is where you can win and do something better than Noelle did. Let me tell you that part. So once I started doing wholesaling, I ended up going back to work. I finished school because I just had a few months left to graduate, and then we moved out of Connecticut and we moved back to Atlanta. When I was at Atlanta, I just got a full-time job and I started trying to see if I could invest in real estate in Atlanta the same way that I had in Connecticut, now that I was more knowledgeable. But when I went back to Atlanta, I was much smarter and I was able to get deals in a way that I had never been able to get before. Additionally, I was a lot smarter, so I knew real estate markets and I could see that there were some real trends. So I decided that Atlanta wasn't the best place for us, and even though I was working full time, I ended up going to Dallas, Texas, because they had a much better real estate market and I could start getting some real rentals, and I could build my real estate portfolio and get rental properties that were super valuable to me in a city that had more people. So I had a few deals that I did in Atlanta, and then I moved to Dallas. But when I was in Dallas, I had a really good job. I literally was a vice president at Chase Bank. It was a great job. It was a six-figure job, and I had my rental properties and the deals that I was doing on the side. You really couldn't tell me much of anything. I thought I had made it. I had all of this money, I had rental properties, and if I wanted to quit my job, I knew that I could. So I started getting enough rental properties so that I could cover my income. That way, I could quit my job and start working on real estate full time. Now, here's what I'm telling you. I needed almost 40 properties to cover what all of my bills were, or so I thought. But at the same time, I was still not confident that I could do it full time. And that was a big mistake. Once I quit my job with all of those rentals, you will not believe it. My income went through the roof. I thought that it would be hard to replace my six-figure income from my job, but in fact, once I got rid of the job, I was able to do real estate on a much bigger level and make even more money. And so then I quit my job. Quitting my job was an amazing turning point for me. I had over 40 rental properties. I was able to be home with my kids. Things were really good for me. I resigned from my job and I was just living the life, managing my rental properties and just kind of doing deals. But this is not where it ends. Like I said, at this point, I was just making six figures. So let me tell you how I took it to the next level and turned it into millions. I started adding different streams of revenue to my income. So as I had rental properties, I started adding in other businesses that were complementary to the real estate. For example, I would have all of those lawns that I needed to mow, and the guy that cut my grass, he wanted me to invest in his business and then I could own a portion of it. All I needed to do was help him get some more lawn mowers. So in this scenario, I used my Home Depot business credit card and I was able to get more lawn mowers and help fund his business. Then that brought me even more revenue. So then I started realizing that we were doing fixes and flips and I had furniture that I could start selling, and I could even start staging other people's properties. Again, I took my core business and started creating other businesses around that core business. But let me tell you how I really took it to multi-millions, because that still didn't take me to multi-millions, and this thing did. So the big thing that really changed my life and how I took it to multi-millions was teaching it. Teaching and showing people what I was doing took me to multi-millionaire. Once I started opening up and showing people my properties, writing books, making a podcast, making a YouTube channel, and sharing all of the knowledge, that took my income from 7 figures to nearly 8 figures to what it is today. I make millions of dollars today because I did that. I started teaching it. You should start monetizing your expertise, and that will take you to the next level. Not only do I have my rental properties, and that's a stream of income, I also have my books, my podcast, my YouTube channel, my programs, my courses, and all of these things that monetize my expertise that took me to the next level. And this is how I have a multi-million-dollar real estate business today. So before I give you my bonus, because you know I love sharing so much information, I have another tip for you all on how you can do this too. Make sure you are listening to my podcast. You follow me on Instagram, on TikTok, and get my book too. I have all of these things available for you absolutely free. So make sure you check them out, especially my podcast. So as a bonus, let me tell you how you can do it even faster than Noelle did. You can build business credit to get real estate a lot faster than I did. Like I said, I did not know anything about business credit or business funding when I started in real estate. And when I started combining the real estate knowledge and the business credit, my business completely took off, and I have students that do it way faster than I did. I have students that are getting hundreds of thousands of dollars in business credit in less than a year. And again, this is in their business's name with no personal guarantee. It's an absolutely amazing thing for your business and how you can grow your business way faster than you can with your own personal savings and your own personal credit. Make sure you check out that entire playlist that I have on YouTube that teaches business credit, because it is a complete game changer. If you want to learn exactly how to invest in real estate, I have an entire course that I'm giving to you absolutely free. Check out noelsfreetraining.com. That's noelsfreetraining.com. It's a complete course that I made. It's about an hour long where it teaches you step by step my exact formula to investing in real estate without using your credit and without losing any money. Again, I want to make sure that you have all of the resources, all of the tools, and all of the knowledge that you need to be successful. This is Noel, to your success.